Good evening, my name is Aine Duffy and you're welcome to Cavan TV's News and Views. The programme is brought to you weekly on Fridays 7 to 8. Each week we take a look at what's going on in the county and we invite guests to chat live in the studio. So, if you would like to be a correspondent for your area, you can email us at drumlinmedia@gmail.com. You've got an interesting story? Please do let us know. Well, this week my guests are elite athlete Diana Hogan-Murphy. Diana is going to talk about her amazing challenges to date, and also in the studio I will have the spokesman for the Cavan IFA, Jim O'Rourke, and he will be talking about the fodder crisis and the difficulties farmers are facing at the moment. Well, international news. An earthquake measuring 7.0 on the Richter scale hit the Sichuan province in China this week. 188 are feared dead and approximately 11,000 are injured and many thousands more are left homeless. Claims of the use of chemical warfare by Syria have infuriated the West. President Obama stated that it would be a red line that could result in military response. The poisonous gas sarin was reportedly used. Sarin attacks the nervous system and even a small trace proves fatal. And a good news story from Cavan this week. 2 weeks ago, Eilish McShane had her car stolen. Eilish is the mother of a 3-year-old boy and is a multiple sclerosis sufferer. The specially adapted car was essential for her daily routines. On hearing of her plight, Aine Motors came up trumps and organised a replacement car for her to use. There is a very happy photo of Eilish in the Anglo Celt this week, getting the keys of her car from Dara Fitzpatrick, Assistant Manager in Aine Motorworks. And now to local town news. The Red Hills 100km Cycle Challenge takes place this Saturday, August the 27th. It's to raise funds for the Richmond and Beaumont Hospitals ICUs. Kilishandra news, there will be a public meeting to discuss the community's bank needs after the recent closure of the Ulster Bank in the town. The meeting will take place in the Resource Centre Thursday, May the 2nd at 8 p.m. Ballinea news, the challenge, cycle to and climb Crowpatrick in June. There will be an information evening in Cronan's Bar this Sunday, April 28th between 5 and 7. Cornafane news. For the gathering celebrations, Cornafane is putting a book together about past activities in the area, such as the marching band, the tops of the town, Markinatuya and the local GAA. So anybody with information, pictures, stories, etc. are asked to contact Breathe on 087 351 5007. Mullahoran news, and finally Victor's Dung is in the Parochial Hall on Saturday night the 28th of April at 8:30. The proceeds are in aid of the local GAA club. Ahalura Brusky Development Association are holding a big country night in the Millennium Tavern in Ballinea on Sunday, May the 5th. Music is by White Lightning and proceeds are for the planned festival which is going to take place in late July. Cootail go dancing on Wednesday nights in the Erigal House Hotel, and next Wednesday music is by the band She Bean. Bono, it's getting ready for its annual summer festival. It's due to take place from Friday, May the 31st to Sunday, June the 2nd. A full calendar of events will be available later. Butlers Bridge news, as part of the GAA's Club 125th anniversary, the club is holding a street party and the biggest handshakes the village has ever seen. This will take place on Sunday, August the 4th. It's part of the Gathering Festival. Den news, congratulations to Slieve Glad Drama Group on winning the monthly award for arts and entertainment on Shannonside Northern Sound Radio. Kinelec news, there will be a fundraising night in aid of Down syndrome in the Copper Kettle Bar this Saturday night, April the 27th. It's to support the Latch On programme. Red Hills is organising its spring clean-up. Volunteers are asked to gather in the Village Centre this Saturday at 11 a.m. So, where to go and what to do this weekend? Well, The Sand. It's a one-man show by Seamus O'Rourke and he's performing it tonight in the golf club at 8:30. Go to Goodhill this Saturday at 2:30 and that's where cyclists John Joe Rogers, Desi Duffy and Kieran Cosgrove return home after their 17,000 kilometre cycle around Ireland. They were fundraising in aid of cancer research, and the Cootehill Chamber of Commerce welcomes them at a reception there at 2:30, and there will be a party night afterwards in the Galleroni House. Slimming World is hosting a fashion show tonight in the Cavan Crystal Hotel. Proceeds are in aid of Cavan Monaghan Palliative Care. Admission is €10 and it's a very worthy cause, and please go along and support. Well, that gets me to my first guest in the studio tonight, and that's Diana Hogan-Murphy. Diana is an elite athlete and she's also a clinical pharmacist in Cavan General Hospital. Diana, thanks for coming in this evening, and thanks for getting time to come in this evening.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Your punishing schedule as an athlete.
I
Diana,
think you're
I
a bit generous.
No, I'm not generous at all, and we'll hear that later. An elite athlete. I just want to say, Diana, you're in Cavan now, and it's nearly 4 years now since you came to Cavan,
Yes,
isn't it?
I've been here since October 2008, so yeah, it's almost 4.5 years. Yeah.
And I remember you told me that you were a runner and that you were running in the Galway marathon, or a marathon in Galway.
It probably was at the time. There's a few marathons in
I
Galway.
did, I know, and I remember texting you and I said, Diana, how did you get on? And the answer came back, I won.
Oh, right.
So that gives us an idea of kind of things that you can run. Okay. So Diana, you do compete at you don't just run, you actually win, Diana.
On occasion.
And you do the 26 miles and you do ultra marathons as well.
That's right. I do sort of more ultra marathons than marathons.
Okay, so tell us what an ultra marathon is.
An ultra marathon basically is anything over a marathon distance, which is, a marathon distance is 26.2 miles. Or 42.2 kilometres. So, for example, I did the Connemara Ultramarathon on the 7th of April. So that was 1 week before Boston, and that was 39.3 miles. So it was exactly a marathon and a half. But as you can imagine, the terrain was pretty hilly, and the conditions are pretty difficult. It was a very kind of gusty, windy, exposed day. It's exposed anyway. So,
and just to give us an idea, Diana, of how good a runner you are, tell me how long it took you to run that.
Well, actually, I was doing it with my friend Shirley Potter, who is emigrating to Australia in 2 weeks. So the only reason actually this time that I did that was because I mightn't see her for a while. So I hadn't done great training, to be honest. It took 6 hours and 10 minutes. So that
folks understand, that's 6 hours and 10 minutes running.
Yeah, but I've done it in like sub 6 twice previously.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of running non-stop, and then there's like water stations about every 3 miles. Okay. But they don't really give you supplies, it's just the water. So you kind of have to run on empty most of the time.
Okay, so Diana, you not only do that, you do the Iron.
Oh yes, yeah.
Iron, what's the name of it?
The Ironman. Ironman, yeah. So that involves...
Tell us what that is now.
Yeah.
That's a combination. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, that involves 3 different disciplines. So you first swim, and you swim 3.8 kilometres. It's an open water swim, so it's either going to be in a lake or else it's in the sea. But it's actually better if it's in the sea because you're more buoyant with the salt, exactly. So then straight after that, you go into your transit area and you jump on your bike and you cycle for 180 kilometres. And then straight after that, you run a full marathon, which is...
And that's all in one day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, no time to stop. No.
No time for a burger, Diana.
No. You just keep on going. Yeah.
You're actually founder member of the triathlon club.
Yeah, well, Fergal McManus now, he's heavily involved. He was the secretary, and now he's kind of taken over as the sort of development officer. So he's sort of the real co-founder, but I was around from when, the first meeting, etc. So I'm the PR for the club, but it's very active at the moment, and they kind of run twice a week. They run on a Monday.
Yeah, you can see the influence of it around the town, and it's great to see that there are actually older athletes as well now. Older, the veteran athletes.
Oh yeah,
as
absolutely.
well as younger athletes, and that's great. Yeah. Great interest for people.
Absolutely, any age, absolutely. So we train with Annalie AC on a Monday at 7 o'clock, and then they meet on a Saturday and a Sunday morning at 10:30 outside the Orchard. for a cycle, and then there's all different groups. So there's 3 different groups, and if you just wanted to say 20k, as you're very familiar with, you're a good cyclist yourself. So you can either do like a short spin, or else there's a medium spin, and then there's quite an advanced one. So you could go for about 100 kilometres, and that's on a Saturday and a Sunday.
They've been doing time trials as well lately.
That's right. Yeah, they've only just started them about a month ago, and in about 2 weeks we're going to be starting our open water swim. So that means we go off to Aine Lake, yeah, and we swim, say, it's usually a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock.
So Diana, just to give me an idea of who actually, is training, who gives you the training, or,
well, Rob Murphy has been a great help. He's the coach for Aine Lake.
Coach, I should say.
Yeah, so he's great. So, say for the Dublin Marathon, I had a target. We kind of come up with a plan, and I had a target to do a 3:18. And I came in and I did 3:17:57. So I just burst at the end because I saw the clock and I said, oh God, I have to make it. So I literally legged it at the very, very end. So we kind of come up with a plan together. And of course, like, everybody is busy and you can't stick to the plan 100%. But normally I train, say, 4 times a week. I wouldn't do much more than that. And because I think it's very important that you give your body a rest as well.
Okay. Thanks, Diana. We're just going to go to a quick break now. Back again.